Welcome back to Jak and Daxter, going to the boss of this area now. And I failed to get the platforms in the right spot, so I just kind of wing it.
Well, if it's possible, it's possible. Why not?
Yeah, it's possible.
But what is the boss of this place?
It's an actual boss. No.
How did you get over here?
Jumped.
I walked.
No, Kira, how did you get over here?
Jumped.
Wait! I'll stay here and protect Kira. Jak, I think you're ready to handle that monster without me.
Oh, really heroic of you.
Okay, he's more funny when he's uncensored, but Daxter still has his amusing moments.
It's not. I think it's more funny how people react to him than the way that than the stuff that he's specifically saying. But I think that's just a matter of like I enjoy snark, so yeah. This is only like the second boss we fought in the entire game, if I remember correctly, right?
Yep.
Well, we didn't do the. I don't think we did the sub boss underneath the precursor temple in World 1.
Nope, I go back to do that.
I was gonna say, even if you don't do it during this playthrough, you're not missing much.
Any reason why you held it off for that long?
I just forgot it was there.
Oh, that's how insignificant it is.
Well, this is the type of game where you can get everything in one go in most levels, right?
In every level, yes.
Okay, so
Provided a few very rare exceptions.
Okay, so
something about the platforms that you use to reach the boss in this level reminds me of Entropy from Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Okay, more of those Crash parallels. I doubt that's what they were doing, but I could see it.
They were probably just like, let's make some platforms, and then they made platforms.
Hey,
Although,
we made a game before.
If I had to think of a specific boss in any other game for this one, it would probably be Iblis.
Oh God, I'm seeing it. I haven't even played that level yet.
It'd be a lot more interesting if Iblis did actively bowl for silver.
I was actually thinking more of the worm Iblis because of the platforms, the lava platforms you have to jump to.
Yeah, the footholds and yeah.
But how many bosses are in this game, like mandatory wise, at the very least?
Just this one and the last one.
Oh, huh.
3 major bosses in the entire game.
Well, 3D platformers don't always have an awful lot of boss fights, or at least these kind of like collect the stuff kind of 3D platformers. Because I'm thinking about the first Banjo-Kazooie game really only had the final boss, with like a few minor things here and there. Like I don't know if I'd count the crab in Treasure Trove Cove as a boss. And while there was a boss in every level in Banjo-Tooie, because of that game's setup, you didn't have to fight any of them if you wanted to. Well, other than Klungo, but he doesn't count. You didn't have to fight any of like the big scary bosses in nearly any level if you didn't want to. Just by chance you're probably gonna fight a few of them, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Is the thing. I guess it's just because it's a lot harder to come up with boss ideas in this kind of style as opposed to a 2D style, I think, because I think that's why a lot of bosses in these kind of games sort of revolve around the dodge his attacks, wait for him to show his giant obvious counterattack spot, attack the giant obvious counterattack spot, repeat about 3 times, and then you win.
Well, unless you can attack the boss directly in a platforming, a lot of bosses in platformers in general revolve around using your environment to do damage to the boss because he's too stupid to realize you're doing that.
Yeah.
Well,
Jak 2 and Jak 3 have more bosses, but Jak 2 and Jak 3 also have guns. So
yeah.
I think that you end up using your environment more because these characters aren't really built with combat in mind. They're built with jumping around on stuff in mind, and it's just a matter of, trying to fit a boss type experience into that gameplay style. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Actually, a lot of times it doesn't.
2 things that need to be brought to the listener's attention about this area. Thing number 1, get to the end before the lurkers do, or they'll self-destruct the valley and you lose. Thing number 2, don't run into any of the big-ass bombs along the way. They're instant kill.
Okay, don't screw up. Got it.
Does your bike have a health bar, or
I'm pretty sure you have a health bar while you're on the bike,
okay.
but don't quote me on that. Because I never get hit while I'm on the bike.
Oh yeah, Ryan's hearts just popped up, so
Oh god, that was a close call. You passed like within a centimeter of that bomb.
Are you talking about music? I can hear. Like I'm thinking, Crash. Just listen to this music.
I was
This
getting vibes from that as well. Yeah.
This is one of the rare instances where I would say the smart thing to do is to get to the end of the area, clear it, and come back for the other power cells along this path later.
Is this instant kill kind of time limit only there the first time you play the level? Then?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Once you get there, you reach this guy, you run into him with your zoomer, and that takes care of the detonator. So the only thing the bombs do is impede your progress throughout the riding section.
Why do you drive over the eco portals?
Good work.
Those speed you up if you go over the blue ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
This lab is just ahead.
Also,
Speed
I
boosters.
think you do get fireballs if you drive over a yellow one, but there's only one place you ever use it, and that's to blast open this boulder on that path that's blocking your way to a hidden power cell. Anyway, we're about to actually meet the bad guys. Yeah, we're on the 3rd out of 3 hub worlds, and we're finally going to meet the bad guys.
Them. Oh.
So why is this guy wearing platform shoes anyway?
Well, it definitely
Well, he's old.
Yeah.
Because he's really short and very insecure about it, I suppose.
So is that the bad guy with the voice modulation there?
Do you need
Yes.
to ask?
Gull and his sidekick Maya. If you forget these guys after the first game, it's because they're very forgettable.
So they don't come back then.
Yeah. Basically, Gull is the sage who was studying Dark Eco.
Somebody should tell him to tuck those things in. He's dangling from his feet. What the fuck is that?
What the hell's stuck in his throat that he's talking like that? Like it.
He's, as you can see, he's got a bit of a cybernetic arm going on, and he also gasps occasionally during his dialogue. So he's kind of like a Sith Lord.
General
He's like-
Grievous.
he's like corrupted by dark energy, and he's got this whole cybernetic respirator thing going on. Yet he still insists the dark side is more powerful. You're on a fucking iron lung, you asshole.
Join me,
Totally worth it.
join me, Luke, and together we can. Oh, sorry about that. The dark side is a little bit hard.
Dark side be tripping, yo.
Dad, I'm not sure if this is really a good idea.
Totally be a good
Anyway.
idea. Think of all the dark side I did when I was your age.
Anyway, what Darth Gaul here is trying to do is open up the dark eco silos in the far north. Basically, they're like missile silos, except they're full of dark eco, and if they open, it overflows. Why the precursors made these things, I
I
don't
was just about
know.
to ask that.
There is one other dark eco silo in the game that you have to well, you don't have to, but you can, for a power cell, protect it from being bombed open. It doesn't really matter how long they bomb it, though, because no damage ever happens to the silo, so they're just sort of chucking bombs at it, hoping something will happen, and nothing ever does.
So it's time to go to the Gold Saucer and race some chocobos, then, is what you're telling me?
I don't think there are any racing missions in this game, but we'll see.
Hey guys,
One
keep collecting power cells.
Oh, this is the most useless Kira dialogue in the game. This is all she says in Hub World 3.
What? Collect power? I couldn't really hear it, but didn't she basically just say, go collect some power cells?
Hey,
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, basically. Oh, this is Jack's uncle.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's, well, they probably didn't have Jack 2 planned at this point, so Jack has a family member, and it's never explained what his real relationship, his real retcon relationship is actually to Jack, like if he's just an adopted uncle or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's really common for, like, friends of parents to be like, oh, I'm uncle whatever, or aunt whatever, even if you're not, like, an actual aunt or uncle. So he could just be a friend of, who's its face? Samos is his name, the sagey dude. He could just be his friend of that guy.
One of the things about Jak and Daxter's instruction manual that was this was a game. This was back when games had actually elaborate instruction manuals, and sometimes they'll have hints that are written like from the perspective of a side character or something, And in the Jak and Daxter manual, the hints are all written by this guy.
Oh wow, kind of a random guy to have since you only meet him like right here, right?
Yeah, well, he's an adventurer type person. I suppose that's supposed to be, or was intended to be, your explanation for why Jack is such a rapscallion and running around, flipping around and shit. But
do they mention him before this or in any of the other games, or is he just forgotten about?
He's
forgotten about
this game, yeah.
Oh well, that's something for the fanfiction writers to dwell on, I suppose.
I'm not actually sure what kind of fanfic community that Jak and Daxter even has. I've never looked into it. I imagine it involves a lot of Jack and Ashlyn shipping. Possibly Kira and Ashlyn shipping. Or Jack and Torn shipping. Lots of shipping. Seriously, people, fanfiction is about telling stories, not telling romances exclusively.
Shipping that makes me want to drink Jack. I mean, am I right?
But Lewis, why would you write a story if it doesn't involve the characters you want to boning at the end? I mean, come on.
It's like one of the most immediate questions everyone asks when it comes to pairing. Hey, who would this character fuck?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, don't you want to know what kind of hot weasel rat sex Daxter's having? I mean,
no. It's like my number one pet peeve when it comes to fanfiction is that it's always about the pairings. It's like, there's always, like, in the summary of a fanfiction story, it's always this character cross this character, and then this character cross this character, and then this character cross this. Okay, you have a limited character space. Just tell us what the story is actually about, would you? It's gotten
that
to the
is what the
point
story's about.
It's gotten to the point where on fanfiction.net they've actually added character filters for pairings specifically, so that you can search pairings as well.
well,
And
to
not
be
just-
Usually when I do the shipping fanfics, the plot is about as relevant as one in porn.
well, depending on what type of fanfiction they're trying to write, it can be a little bit more because, like, just
I thought you were seriously just gonna say, oh, some porn plots are good.
No.
well, actually, no, I'm kidding. The thing is that a lot of fan fiction is basically just them like, oh, look, I'm gonna convolute a story so that Squall and Tifa can have sex, but some fan fiction can be like pairing centric, but not like sex centric. Like there are like platonic pairings that people wanna like explore.
Pairings for the sake of telling a story.
Yeah,
Let me
exactly.
just get this out there. Okay, there are some legitimately good pairing fics out there. They're rare, but not any rarer than legitimately good other stories. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't care about pairing. I only care that it's what every fanfiction writer ever does. It's like, okay, just sometimes I just want to read an adventure story with my favorite characters in it, you know? And I'm pretty sure most of the time these characters have more important things on their mind than romance.
Well, unless they're sex maniac.
Well, yeah, but we're not writing a Catherine story here, are we?
You know, give me a Tilda Symphonia Zelos fanfiction that doesn't have sex. That's a challenge. That's all he does is whore out.
Hey, but you get free items from all the women in the games. So
Yeah, you know what they don't tell you what you get? Herpes. and I'm not a fan of that.
Who is a fan of herpes? Don't answer that.
I don't know, but
Please
he's
answer that.
probably he's probably a villain in Captain Planet.
Sounds like a PSA villain.
Oh man, ever since I got herpes, like, okay, no, I don't even want to finish that joke. I'm just, no.
Just to let you know that I have herpes.
I will say that there is a surprising amount of maneuvering room when it comes to Jack's ability to grab a ledge and yank himself back onto it. Because like in a lot of other platformers, Ryan missing these jumps would just mean a fall into the bottomless pit. But Jack is pretty good about grabbing ledges.
But then there's those points where you grab the ledge of a platform that's moving too fast, so when you pull yourself up, there's nothing for you to land on.
Yeah. It's like the platform's outside. Almost every time I play through the game, I'll grab it, fall off, grab it, fall off until it stops. It's almost like I'm doing it intentionally, but I'm not, actually.
I just hold on until it stops, yeah.
Also, this is a really big button.
Oh, John, how much more of the game have you played since last time we met?
Not a goddamn...
Okay, I thought the way you were
hour.
talking, I thought you might have played more, but...
I tried, but I got too tied up with Echo.
Oh, your favorite game series?
I try not to tell the secrets in BrainScratch.
I enjoyed that review.
I'll defend Tides of Time. I legitimately thought that was a good game, but...
Anyway,
great,
this
good.
is the sub-boss. If it looks like a giant piranha plant, that's because it is. It's about as interesting to fight as one. In fact, I would go so far as to say the beginning boss of Super Mario Sunshine is actually harder.
Well,
Oh,
it
Petey
chumps
Prom.
you for a bit, and then it just decides to take a break, materializes these platforms, and then that's it. You just whack him in the chin.
Yes.
And that's about it.
Also, one of the only times that an enemy has a specific death animation for Jack.
Well, at least we know.
Oh, that was an instant death attack because you had like 3
No,
hearts.
he had only 1 health.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
he had more. I guess I must not have been paying attention.
Oh, I've never seen that before, so I saw something new.
Oh, we're back in an earlier level, right? Yeah,
Yes.
this is the okay.
Yeah.
So
This is in Hub World 1.
okay, so you're just trying to get more power cells so you can finish the game then.
Yep.
Now, how this boss works is that when the enemy spawns in those little mooks, you have to wait until they retract their spikes and then kill them. When you kill the little mook enemies, that is when the piranha plant takes its break and says, "Here, have a staircase."
You stand on the outer ring, and there's nothing here that can never hurt you. Even the little mooks, you see the spikes protruding from their back, but the moment they get really close to you, they retract the spikes. And you
No,
just
that's on a timer.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I always thought it was proximity based.
No, it's on a
It's
timer.
on a timer. It's just that the timer runs out at the perfect time for the spikes to retract as they reach that outer ring.
You got through.
So-
You get through the bosses in this game pretty quickly, though. I noticed. Or is it just because you know what you're doing?
The only vaguely difficult boss in the game is the final one, and I say vaguely because it's not really all that difficult.
Well, you said this game is mostly pretty comfortable.
Yes.
Over.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not too surprising.
Combat doesn't actually get to be a real challenge until 2, because they amp up what enemies can do to compensate for the fact that you have all these crazy guns.